at the moment. So yeah, I was having some initial problems with some of the stuff I was using. Some of my software wasn't working properly. A few things were playing up. Basically, I couldn't get my Unfortunately, I couldn't get any of my freaking software for my games and stuff to recognize anything. It was being a pain in the ass anyway. It's not a problem. I fixed it now, but or it seems to have fixed itself through a little of process of elimination by the looks of it. From what I could see, it was just the fact that the software wasn't optimizing the games I was playing properly anyway. So that's not a big issue, but you know, shit happens unfortunately sometimes. I do need to link my live streams up though with my website just to sort of carry it alongside with everything else. So maybe that might be an idea at some point. Share to timeline. So yeah, not feeling too bad now. I've just made sure that everything was in. Oh, okay, and that's fucking gone unoptimized again. You prick. Well, actually, it optimized some of the games, but not all of them. They were more optimized before. I don't know what happened there. That is rather strange. Prick of a thing. I have to run it again. The weird part is it was optimized yesterday, so I don't know what the hell happened there. Very strange, very unusual. Though I have been having little software glitches here and there, and they are kind of pissing me off. Actually kind of annoying the fuck out of me, and, you know, getting me to yell at the computer and go chuck the fucking shits at it. Kind of with a few problems that I've had. Which I know that, I mean, I think that's just part of streaming, like any piece of streaming software and stuff that you use. They all have teething problems, and even fucking Windows these days has teething problems. You cannot avoid teething problems. This is the issue. It doesn't matter what fucking piece of software you fucking use, there is always something that will crop up and fucking annoy the shit out of you. Or be a fucking pain in the ass and won't work correctly. And you're normally left cleaning up the bullshit and the crap that works with it. And like, fuck off, cunt. Really? Thank you very fucking much, you assholes. I don't know. I've been having a few problems with Netflix, to be honest. That's been giving me the shits lately. That's been absolutely fucking annoying me. Netflix has been annoying the fuck out of me. Sometimes it'll work, other times I've had to reinstall it about a dozen times. For a while, the Facebook app was even giving me the shits. But now I've actually fixed that. Which is fucking fantastic. That's great, I've fixed that. But, you know, it seems like I get one thing fucking fixed and something else pops up out of the fucking woodwork. I don't know what it is about fucking Windows 10, but it's just so error-prone in certain situations. I don't know whether... I mean, it could also be the fact that some of the software I'm using isn't designed for the latest version of Windows 10. That's distinctly possible. But, I mean, the other side of it, too, is... I mean, you know, there shouldn't be that much of a dramatic update on Windows 10 that it just fucks with everything. Kind of fucking shits me, gives me the fucking shits, and gets me riled up and pissed off with Microsoft and the way they deal with some of this fucking shit. Oh, that's better. I don't know, put it this way. I try not to get pissed off, but I understand why people get pissed off. I understand why software glitches and other shit cause people to get fucking pissed off. You know, another thing that I've been doing lately is following these fucking terrorist attacks, which have obviously been giving me the shits as well. I will be honest, it's been giving me the shits in the sense that, fuck, you know, like, really? Like, we live in a world where this shit is happening, basically, and it's kind of, that's the thing that's pissing me off at the moment. But that's such an adamant thing now. On the plus side, I got a fucking new cable now, which is great. My fucking phone is charging properly again, and I'm picking up the data and everything else on it now, so I can fucking transfer photos and whatever I want off it. Which was rather frustrating, because the fucking last cable I got fucking broke, didn't it? I could have actually got my money back on it, but I thought, fuck it, I didn't pay that much for it, so I'm like, fuck it, who cares? So I bought myself fucking 2 new fucking cables. But I still get shitty that so often that does happen. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but there's some situations where I've gone, like, what the fuck? Can we design things that fucking cheaply, firstly, that they fucking break within, a few months of relatively normal use. Like, that's the fucking thing I don't get. I don't... It's not all technology that, that does that, but it's some technology. Like, what the fuck? Seriously, what is wrong with these fucking designers? Anyway, this the new cable I ended up getting it's a different design anyway. So that's alright, I'll go back to my channel. Right, so yeah. I have kind of been pissed off lately with fucking the shit that's been going on overseas. Whether it's Manchester, whether it's general terrorist attacks and stuff like that, and crap that's been going on lately has been pissing me the fuck off. Not just that, but a few things have been pissing me the fuck off with how people are being treated. I don't know, just generally some shit. I don't know, look, unfortunately, I'm going to get pissed off from time to time. People have always said, it's like, you can't go through fucking life angry. Well, sometimes you have to get a little angry to actually get a reaction out of fucking people and actually get a decent fucking reaction. Like, this is the thing. I'll be honest, I am the type of guy, I will overreact and I will rant about something if I fucking feel passionate about it enough to fucking put my fucking 2 cents worth and my opinion into it, firstly. And I'm kind of, I kind of don't get people who don't push the envelope or try to at least push the envelope, like have an opinion at least. I mean, I feel like people, I don't know, I feel like we as a population are too fucking docile. We're docile, we're fucking sheep, we lay back and we take the fucking shit that happens to us. What the fuck is with that shit? That doesn't even make fucking sense to me, I'm sorry, but as a population, how the fuck are we meant to... No, as a population, how the fuck does it work that we sit back so much in society these days and just take the shit like, cop it on the fucking chin? Like, that's fucking bullshit, to be honest. Anyway, I'm back, and I've got everything set up a bit more. Plus, I got my, what else the fuck else did I get set up as well? No, I just want to make sure everything was set up anyway. But, I don't know, my freaking group was going and fucking being a pain in the ass. Now, let's see. I've got everything set up almost. Posted my stuff, some of my stuff to my difference. I need to put some more stuff on my website, actually. I need to do a bit of editing on my website, maybe. I did add some Google stuff, so it's a bit easier to find in Google. Hopefully that should make it easier to find in Google. We'll see how we'll see which direction it goes in the long run. And I had a nice shave today, which was great. I do need to fucking shave my hair though. I need to fucking shave my head bald again, like I had it before. It's just so much easier to fucking maintain. I hate my hair. I do hate my hair some days. It's so frustrating to have so much fucking hair. That's my issue. So let's see. Some more stuff anyway. So at this point in time, I don't know, I think I'm going to play a couple of games anyway. I'm going to go back to what I was playing before anyway. Let me just go back to my main screen. Let's make sure my stuff is all working. Also make sure that my chat is working correctly as well. Testing. Let's go back to there. And just make sure everything is working. That's always initially something I do anyway. Fuck you, you cockhead motherfucker. Actually, that's only the one. That's the one I didn't see anyway. That's fun. Go back. Let me see. And I'll go back to my teams. Let's open that up. Test my chat and see that it actually works. Testing. Beautiful. There we go. Alright. Right, so let me see. What am I doing today? How am I feeling? Not too bad at all. I'm testing a few things and just making sure everything's working correctly. It's plus side. I want that bittersweet. There. I did pick up Quantum Break. I want to actually have a bit of a go at that later on. I had played about 5 hours of it before, so I want to get back to playing some more of that. I don't know, I felt okay the last few days. I had a couple of drinks yesterday, the day before, so I was just resting. Well, no, it's not entirely true. I was resting a bit, but I was doing other stuff around the house and doing some basic stuff. In between that, I was just I don't know. I was trying to keep myself busy, I guess. You try to do that with the IT business. I have been. I mean, I don't know. See, the thing is, you can really obsess, and you can really put a lot of time into certain things. I mean, I've learned a few times these days, especially, is that there's so much you can do with this stuff. Whether it's adjusting settings, whether it's getting things just perfect, and the truth is, I can be a bit picky about how I do stuff, and that does happen to me a lot. You know. Very often I'll be picky about specific things that I might do for, you know, videos or editing videos or things of that nature. And a percentage of the time when I do this stuff, it's always, you know, it's always in different circumstances, I guess. But, you know, I don't know. I'm not doing too bad. I'm doing pretty well considering, so I can't complain too much. It's a little bit stressful. Well, it was a little bit stressful. I mean, I still got my nephews here, but my niece... my sister's got her house set up now. Oh, sorry, her sort of apartment/house thing, and she's setting that up at the moment. So that's pretty good. She's got everything going there. So I mean, as I said, it's been a bit stressful, you know, having all the extra people in the house, and well, you know, I'm used to having the house to myself. I'm used to having it, you know, less centralized, and I can do what I want, and I don't feel as restricted, you know. So yeah, that has been a bit of a challenge, but it's not too bad these last few weeks anyway. The dog's been okay. It's been okay having the dog, I guess, around sometimes, but the problem with the dog, he does tend to get in your way most of the time, so... I mean, the bird, at least the bird you can put in a cage. You know, you can actually put the bird in a cage and you can... Oops. Holy shit, that was loud. What the hell? I'm still at a loss to explain... let's just shoot me. Oh, that explains why. There we go, maybe that'll work. Yeah, there we go, that's better. Okay, so it's going directly through the encoder. That's alright, now it's actually going directly through the encoder. That's better. So, otherwise it hasn't been too bad. I've been trying to keep myself busy as well, and I've been trying to do I'm trying to do a few things around the house. A few bits and pieces of washing up to do today. I slept pretty well yesterday. I'm feeling too bad health-wise. I've been pretty good. Just, I guess a bit of extra stress to a certain extent, I guess. I don't know. See, I'm always the type of guy, I bend over backwards for everybody else, even my own family, you know what I mean? And the truth is, I always put other people first. I'm not a very selfish person by nature. I seem self-orientated a lot of times in my videos. But that's because it's something that I like and it's something that I do. Now the truth is, I would say I'm the most non-selfish human being you'll ever meet. I try to put other people first if I can help it. I try to do the right thing by other people. And aside from putting other people first, at the same time I try to help people if I can. Now the problem with that is that there's always going to be people out there who take advantage of that. And unfortunately, I've come to the conclusion that some of those people are just dickheads naturally. So unfortunately, I can't fucking avoid them. Those people, of course, you know, it'll be the fact that I'll either try to fix them, or try to help them, or try to do something for them to make their life a bit easier. In essence, it makes my life harder. And then makes shit harder for me. You know what I mean?
Following suspect onto the freeway.
I don't know, as I said, I've always been a very considerate person. Most of the time. I mean, there's going to be moments where, you know... Look, I'll be honest, my family does come as a number one priority. So I'm more considerate to my family than, say, for example, other people that I know. It depends on the situation, see, it varies with the people that I talk to. You could say I'm kind of bitter because my ex turned a lot of people against me, and to be honest, I'm not a bad guy. I don't consider myself a bad guy, and it kind of fucking pissed me off that she was that manipulative, that she would do that in the first place. At the end of it, you know, I just went, fuck it, you know, whatever, you know, go fuck yourself. I could give a fuck less about you, and to be honest, I just don't care about you anymore. you can live your own fucking life. I think, to be honest, you've got a sense of eventually, I am believe in the fact that karma will catch up to people. Not just catch up to people, but it will eventually hit people in a certain ways. Whether it's the fact that their life may go good for a while, and then all of a sudden the life will take a complete shit on itself, you know. And I've always been a believer in bad and karma, or combinations of that. Now, as a personal, from a personal preference, I've noticed that, you know, that does happen. You know, if you're inherently bad towards someone. The truth is, you know, the other thing too is, you know, but I don't know. As I said, I've just always been one of those people who believes and always will believe that bad and karma sort of, you know, go hand in hand. Not just that, but you know, it's balancing out the luck.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I would say that I'm pretty lucky most of the time, and I think people get jealous of that fact. That I'm pretty lucky with where I am in my life. I'm going pretty reasonably well with where I am position-wise. Let's see. You know, I've got things going pretty well for me in the sense, you know, I've got my repairs and my little hobby business thing that I do, and then on top of that, I've got my YouTube channel, which, you know, is not well, it's not unpopular, but it's not the most popular, but it's not unpopular that way. So I do have some fans of my work. Now, the truth is, I mean, you know, there's always going to be people who are jealous of some things. I mean, whether they're jealous of your situation in life, whether they're jealous of the fact that you have more access to certain things that they don't, whether they're jealous about the fact that you might have more than they do, you know, there's always a jealousy thing involved. I try not to be a jealous person if I can help it. The only time that I've ever got jealous is when I've been in a relationship and, like, specifically I've had a couple of different exes and stuff try to purposely make me jealous to see how I react. Now, I'm sorry, but if you're going to try and do that to someone, especially make them jealous about whether the person's in another relationship or whatever, how the fuck do you expect them to react? Do you expect them not to get pissy and angry? I mean, do you expect them not to want to fucking feel like killing you because, you know, of the fact that they might be jealous that you might be fucking someone else, or they might be doing something to someone else, you know, whether it's a relationship or otherwise? I mean, Jesus Christ, I love how these women say, you know, it's like, oh, it's just a test, or it's some degree of that, you know, it's like, oh, I just want to test you and see what you like, or how you react. I'm like, well, fucking Jesus, what the fuck do you expect? Like, I love how these women, you know, they want to test a guy's resolve. Now, I'm a guy who had a pretty good resolve for a fair while, and you know, it takes a hell of a lot, or it did take a hell of a lot to make me jealous. It's not, well, no, I mean, to be honest, these days, I don't really get that jealous. Like, it's not something that happens very common. It's not very common for me to get jealous unless I'm in a real pissy mood, or I've had, you know, I don't know, it can be a combination of me having a bad week, or just having a shitty week, you know, and just generally feeling shitty about things, and I mean, that's just because, you know, look, at the end of it, I know I have mental issues. This is my fucking life. Now, the one thing you don't do is try to stress somebody so much to the maximum with mental issues that they almost burst out and explode at you when, you know, like, that's just the dumbest thing you could possibly do to somebody with mental stress issues. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with it? Like, this is my point, and I'm not saying it's all women, I'm saying it to God, see even some guys are the same. What the fuck? You try to stress somebody to that fucking point, right? What the fuck do you expect from that person? Do you not expect a reaction of anger, of resentment, of, you know, spite or whatever, or fucking rage? Do you not expect that? I mean, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? And then there's some people, I do honestly believe that they get off on that. They get off on the fact that they do get somebody that rageful and that angry and that pissed off with them. And the truth is that I had a friend of 9 years, and she was always very confrontational. There was never a situation that I couldn't get into that I didn't get into some type of confrontation with her, or argument, or the fact that she nagged me to death about everything that I did. You know, I'd spend money on something and she'd get the shits because I spent the money. It's like, it's not even your fucking money in the first place, so you have no right to tell me how to spend my own fucking money. The other side of it too is, you know, I don't know, I've spent money on different things, and I mean, it's mostly been electronics, and I love my electronics. That's just who I am. I obsess about my electronics and stuff like that. I love this stuff, alright? And the truth is, I spend a lot of money on it, you know? But the truth is, you know, there's been situations where I've got things free as well, which for the benefit that I've been doing some work for someone and they provide something or they give something to me because of the fact they love the work that I do. Now the other side of it too is I've also given back to people too. I've given back to helping, whether it's somebody who's in pain or whether it's somebody who needs, you know, help buying food or something like that. And the truth is, and look, I've helped a few people, but at the same time as helping a few people, I've also learned that some people don't deserve that help. I've also learned that these people were lying to me in the first place about what situation they were in. They were basically lying to my face, and, you know, the truth is, it kind of pissed me off. I mean, you know, people make bullshit stories up all the time, you know? Particularly when there's drugs involved and things like that. There's always going to be that inherent thing, you know? I can pride myself in being a pretty honest person most of the time, you know? There's rarely a moment where it's not that I'm honest, but say if I felt something was going to hurt someone, I might hold it back on something about it. Because, you know, I'm just not that much of an asshole that I would say that directly to someone, you know, to fucking hurt them that badly. But I've had so many people come at me with shit over time that I've concluded in the long run that, you know, there's nothing wrong with insulting people and giving the fucking people some honest truth, you know? I don't know, I've been accused of all different types of things in my life. You know, well, mainly, not by my own family. My own family is an issue. But I can say, honestly, all the friends that I've gained, and these are supposedly what I thought were good friends, have accused me of being an arsehole, they've accused me of being a prick, they've accused me of being an alcoholic, they've accused me of being emotionally abusive, they've accused me of all this fucking shit. And the truth is, it's only because I stopped giving them what they wanted, whether it was recognition or financial restitution or whatever the fuck it was I was giving them, and it's because I stopped giving that to them that they fucking turned around and they started fucking having a go at me and fucking trying to manipulate my other friends into stopping, you know, not being around me. And the truth is, it's only because I stopped doing that for people. It's only because I stopped giving that, whether it was recognition or whether it was the right opinion or whether it was a betterment, you know, generally well, you know, an ego boost too. That's another thing too. I was good. I was, you know, I give people an ego boost by telling them they're not as bad as they think they are. You know, that they have some attributes, and I pointed that out to people. Now the problem is I did that, and the issue I found was, or the issue that got me the most, is that, you know, in the long run, I do this, and I wouldn't get much recognition back. I wouldn't get any positive feedback back. Actually, I got to admit, that friend that I was talking about of 8, 9 years, probably longer actually now, that person would always find negative things about me. They'd have to point the negative things out about me all the time. Now, I don't know, I think realistically, if somebody's a friend, logically shouldn't they be more inherent to pointing the positives out? I mean, they should be honest about you, of course, I mean about you as a person, but they should also be able to point out the truths, you know, well, not just the truths, but they should also be able to point out the positive things about you and the good things about you, not just, you know, focus on the fucking negative. And I don't know, as I said, I've had situations in the past, you know, because you know, I don't know what it is, but, you know, I'd spend money on computer components or something like that, and I'd basically have the fact that, I don't know, this friend, she was female. And let's just put it this way, she, I think she was in a living situation where she didn't have a lot of access to a massive amount of money most of the time. And she'd always get the shits with me for spending money that she thought was unnecessary. But the truth is, something that someone else feels is unnecessary, I would say is unnecessary. Now my dad, you know, he's not a creature comforts guy. He could sit in the middle of fucking Canberra with no fucking heater, fucking freezing his fucking ass off with a fucking blanket around him or a fucking coat or something, right? Me on the other hand, I like my creature comforts. I like a fucking decent heating, air conditioning, sort of thing going on, especially in fucking summer. You know, fucking winter, especially in fucking Canberra, fucking freezing. And the other side of it too is whether it's creature comforts, you know, for example, certain types of food I like, certain things, you know. I mean, the other side of it too is my dad doesn't like certain flavours. You know, he can go with the cheapest stuff, and I mean, sometimes I can go to cheapest stuff, don't get me wrong, and you know, I don't mind going with the cheapest option when it comes to certain foods. But say for example like a cappuccino or the cappuccino machine, I love a good cappuccino. My dad, you know, he's a fairly simple guy, and I'm not going to criticise him for being a simple guy because that, you know, that's just who he is. But I mean, it's the same context as I said. The people who I've come across who I've been friends with have been in that little bit older. There's certain creature comforts and there's certain things I like. I like a fucking I like a fucking coffee, you know, a decent cappuccino sort of coffee. You know, I like to be able to buy disposable raisins with aloe vera strips. I mean, food shape. This is my point. I like that type of stuff. When I shave, I like to be able to do that, you know, or whether it's that or some other creature comfort that I really, really like. Or a certain food that I like, you know. Some food I know, especially takeaway food, can be expensive, you know. And I have particular tastes. I admit that, you know. But I don't know. I think there's some people that, you know, they'll criticise you for what you like or how you like things, you know. And you know they consider you sensitive because of it. Has nothing to do with me being sensitive. I can live with the bare minimum. That's not the issue. What the issue is, in the long run, that I'm finding is that my level of comfort compared to someone else's is totally different. There's certain things that I like. There's certain foods that I like. There's certain, you know, there's some things that I like. You could say I'm a little sensitive with some things, and other things I could just give a fuck less, you know? But I'm a lot more intelligent. I mean, I'll be honest. My dad, you know, is a fairly simple bloke. I'm a real complex person. I always will be a complex person. And the truth is, being a complex person, I like a lot. Well, I like complex things. That's. I've always liked complex things. There's never been a situation where I haven't. And you know, for me, it's not always a simple case of I want this or I want that, or you know, I need this or I need that. I mean, okay. Looking at the long run, certain things that I like and I could live and not live without in certain situations. For me, it comes down to, you know, I have to be comfortable. I can't be in a situation where I'm going to be uncomfortable because that's going to make me feel shit. It's going to stress me out and it's going to annoy me. You know, there can be certain situations where food or certain tastes, for example, instant fucking coffee. Certain brands that my dad buy taste like absolute ass. He still drinks it, but I couldn't fucking touch it with a 10-foot pole. After a certain amount of time, I just end up getting my own brand of instant coffee that I like, which is specifically, it tastes like more of a cappuccino type brand. Or I buy the caps from my caps machine. Cappuccino caps machine. Now, look, maybe that's me being a bit, you know, I don't know, maybe you could say upper class, toffee nosed, or fucking whatever the fuck you want to call it. But I don't consider that to really be upper class, because most of the stuff I'm buying it's still fancy stuff, right? But it's the cheaper version of it in most cases. You know, the other side of it too is my dad, there's certain things, for example, flavours and stuff. My dad can't tell the difference between certain flavours of foods, whether it's foods or drinks. And for me, I know the difference between those flavours. If you get me something different, I'll know the difference. I'll know the difference because of the way it tastes. My dad can't tell the difference between different Diet Cokes or different types of Coke or different types of soft drink. He can't tell the difference between the flavours. I, on the other hand, have a pretty sensitive palate. I'll be honest. I can tell certain flavours, certain things. There's certain things that I pick up that my dad wouldn't be able to pick up. there's certain things that I, even in my daily life, you know, the way I do things, for example, there's a certain order that I do everything in my daily life. If I don't do these things in a certain order, I don't feel right. I don't feel organised. It throws my whole fucking day off. Now, you know, some people consider, you know, turn around and say, you know, I've been accused of being sensitive. You know what? I mean, I'm bisexual. It doesn't really matter. My point is, maybe I am a little bit sensitive to some things. I'm sensitive to change, changes in my routine, changes in my food, changes in everything that I do in my daily life. There are certain things that I just will not go without. I'm sorry, there's just certain things I could not go without. You know, don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm still willing to go camping and doing, you know, rough it. I mean, I get roughing it. But, you know, I've become accustomed to these things being in my life. And I know I can afford them, not just that, but I know that these things, you know, they have a certain flavour, they have a particular type of, you know, the things that add to me. They add to my experience of life, my comfort level, they help me to live better, they help me to function better, and they help me to achieve more in my life. Now, it's not always the case that, you know, that is not always the case. There are some situations, you know, where I've been accused of being sensitive. Maybe I am. Maybe there's certain things I'm sensitive about. But if you look up the actual definition of Asperger's and generally any type of level of autism, and, you know, Asperger's is a mild form of it, it pretty much explains how this shit works for me. Alright? It explains how it works for me in general. Because, I'll put it this way, I'm just the type of person, in the long run, who there's just certain things I can't go without. There's certain things I have to. There's certain things I have to do. There's certain things that I have to. I don't know. For me, it's always a routine thing. I mean, the other side of it too is I'm pretty regular on my routines. Whether it's specifically doing housework or getting something into order or organising the kitchen before I start even washing up, for example, you know, putting the dishes in certain piles and things like that. There's other stuff. I mean, it's organising my computer stuff as well. That's something I do as well. And this is a lot of stuff. I mean, it's just how my mind has organised things. I mean, to be honest, when I was a kid, I never really had much of an organisational pattern. It was a bit off and it was a bit strayed. I think it was mostly to do, as I said, with my schizophrenia and everything else. In the long run, I've learned that most of this stuff inherently, as I've got older, I've learned coping mechanisms for everything in my life, including my mental issues. Whether it's the fact that I'm feeling fucking depressed or I'm fucking annoyed. I mean, the other thing is too. The other thing I do is I smoke, you know, as well. That's another coping mechanism. I like to drink. Fuck, I like to drink like a motherfucker sometimes, and then sometimes you know, I don't drink at all. I just, you know, muck around and do whatever I know to do. But I mean, the truth is, I've concluded that these are all my coping mechanisms for life, and if I didn't have them in fucking some form or another, then I would. So it's kind of annoying because that shouldn't be lagging. Let me see here. Let's drop below 60 frames again. You fucking cunt. Now it's kind of weird. I don't know why, but the Elgato normally, it hits the 60 frame mark in most cases, but it's just occasionally it fucking pisses me off when it does this. Annoys the living shit out of me. So let me see here. Why are you being a cunt? I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of annoyed because sometimes it'll run fucking perfect and it'll be great and it won't give me any fucking issues. And then all of a sudden it'll crop these fucking performances and I'm like, fuck off, cunt, really? Fuck's with that shit. Okay, so anyway, that's beside the point. Like I said, most of the time I try to enjoy my life. I try to enjoy my life and I try to have a bit of fun with it too. I mean, you cannot go through life without having a bit of enjoyment and fun. You gotta be able to lay back and sit back and crack out whatever you need to do, or, you know, fuck with whatever you need to do in life. And fuck, you know, fuck it. I've just concluded in total of myself that sometimes you just gotta have fun with life. That's just the way it works. Anyway, what is that? So yeah, that's just something. I'm kind of annoyed though. That's fucking stupid. It's stupid though. The problem seems to go like if I read the stream, that's what the problem is. Oh, you prick! Because it's kind of weird. It's what's actually happening is if you go into it, it'll tell you. It gives you specific things that you can do to make the stream better or to make things better. I've reinstalled my video driver, as I said, for a while. The fucking thing was working great. But it seems the lag seems to be so stupidly intermittent with the way it deals with shit. There it is. That it's kind of frustrating to figure out exactly what's causing it. Frustration. So it's dipping below the frame rate where it should be dipping below. This is supposed to be coming through at 60 frames. Mind you, I am streaming across 3 different websites, so that probably has something to do with it. I mean, it most likely has something to do with it, and I mean, at this point, I'm saving up to sort of be able to do a future upgrade and everything, but that won't be for a while. It's not going to be for a while because I'm going to have to save the cash for it. So that's alright. I mean, firstly, my machine is a real. Even if my shit, it's still fucking pretty high end, so it's not shitty by any means. The problem I'm having at the moment is occasionally there's lag issues popping up. I don't know, I'm surmising that it's a Windows 10 issue because it seems to come and go when it is there. And it points out a few things that you can do to actually fix this. It says that you can turn off certain processes and certain things you might want to turn off, which, to be honest, that probably made me an idea to turn a couple of things off that aren't necessarily required. Let me just go over here. Let me just turn some of this shit off. I'll just turn. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to turn some of this crap off.
Okay, everyone stay away from that taco truck on Marina Drive. I spent the last 2 days with rusty water pouring out my cornhole. 20 hours on the road, I barely made it 35 miles. 4 full fork with extra mayo. Worst decision of my life.
Because got that running the startup. Let me just turn it off. I'll leave Origin open because I don't mind having Origin or Steam open because they're the main places that I tend to play games. Yeah, but any extra stuff that I've got running is probably just Discord. Now Discord, I do have an account for Discord, but I don't know whether I might just go into the settings.
This is Mr. Whipper. You are coming in loud and clear.
Just kill. There should be an option to turn this shit off. Automatically disable stream mode. Disable streamer mode if I do something. I've got Discord running as well. I don't really need that in the background, so I'm just gonna kill Discord. I'll just take it from running at startup. Quit out of it. That way it's not running at startup as well. So that's kind of weird. Let's have a look. See, I don't know. I mean, it could. I mean, I don't know. I haven't got that. I haven't got a massive amount running. That's the truth. So I'm kind of annoyed. Record. Recapped. Shit. Right. So we got that. Something else that's running in the background might be hindering the system a little bit. I think most of this other stuff is okay. It's that should be able to, I should be able to run that in the background. I've got too many issues.
This is Alaton Canyon 6. Do you
Still
copy?
lag. Yeah, that's nice. The other thing that I would like, the other thing I might do as well, I haven't changed the cables. Well, see, I haven't bought into any of the latest cables to HDMI. So I'm thinking maybe changing some of the cables would be an idea to update to the same type of cable design. I might actually see if I can pick some up 2.0 HDMI cables. Because I just think having more up-to-date cables would probably help the situation, especially for streaming. What do we Google? eBay. So let me just go onto eBay for a second. I just want to see how much HDMI 2.0 cables are. How much it's going to cost me anyway. HDMI 2.0 cables. Alright, there we go. Okay, so what do we, let's see. So if I buy, I don't really need to buy massively long cables, probably just 2 meter cables each, maybe 3. Probably 4 meters. So if I were to get 4 of those, it's probably going to end up costing me $19 each. I figure though. Cheaper ones. What I need is a lot. Lot of 5. So I'd buy a lot of 5 of the cables. Just see. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. They're Chinese. Not that I don't mind buying Chinese cables, but I have had problems with China. It's not every Chinese thing I've bought, but some things. What's that going to cost me? Black. So 5 meters. So $14. The cheapest I can get them is $14, and I buy 5 of them. So yeah, I don't know. I probably won't order them right now. I'll probably order them later. So let's get on to this one anyway. I don't know. As I said, I haven't replaced my cables for a while. Probably could do with a replacement at some point. Maybe distinctly. It's sort of annoying though. Some of these little lag issues, as I said, it could be related to the OS too. I'm going to say it's probably a combination of the OS and other things combined. Yeah, I'm going to say most likely that's what the case is. Yeah, pretty much along those lines anyway. So yeah, let's see which direction it heads. Kind of freaking annoying. Kind of freaking annoying. So maybe Yeah. Sadly, I do it too much. I mean, yeah, I mean it's not a bad thing inherently to put to put other people first, but because of the bad experiences that I've had in the past with people who've been on the opposite spectrum of things, I've had people who've taken advantage of that, and it's kind of frustrating. I haven't had not everybody does. I mean, you know, not everybody does take advantage of it, but there's certain people that I know that over the years who have, in my case, and it's kind of frustrating. But when it happens, you know, you kind of feel like you're fucking. Well, it kind of makes you feel like, well, fire. What the fuck did I even try to help you? Sort of thing. I've had situations where that's not the case. Oh, stop you bastard! Just stop it. Anyway, I need a coffee anyway. But no, I have had those situations. Negative and positive, it's always the fucking shit that hits the fan that mostly causes the biggest problems. Normally it's, I don't know, normally it's normally when you get into a negative situation with somebody. I've had a few good friends. I mean, I still have good friends, but I also have some what I would classify as toxic or negative friends as well. They always find the negative points in life, and they can't find anything but the negative. And that's another problem too. My negative, I do have moments where I can literally be negative, and that's all I think about. And then I've also had somebody turn around and accuse me of being too positive, and I'm like, fuck off, how does that work? So it's either one extreme or the other. So I can either really be way too negative, or I can be fucking too positive. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Make up your fucking mind. Which is a bit stupid too. Lots of birds. Too many birds. Alright, I need coffee. Definitely wouldn't go straight and definitely wouldn't make it feel pretty good. Oh, right. Oh, okay. I am back. So yeah, no, I'm in too bad. I've just been, I don't know, I've just been, well, you know, dealing with extra people in the house, a few other bits and pieces. That's generally just been a bit of a stress thing, but not overly bad. I mean, it couldn't be that, it's not that bad, but having other people in your environment and having added extra things to do that you wouldn't normally have to do can be a bit frustrating in certain circumstances. So it's just the way it is sometimes, though, unfortunately, in life. I've learned to live with some things. I have learned to live with some things, that's the truth. I've learned to live. I must live! Live, I tell you, live! Most of the time I live, and then I die a little inside each day. No, I'm kidding. Still, occasionally that is true. Right, so this shit has obviously saved itself. I don't know whether it's going to fucking work or not. That's kind of frustrating. I'm hoping I don't necessarily have to do in some cases I might actually have to do a DDU uninstall or a display driver uninstall. Use it with a special there's a special uninstaller program you can get which actually takes it completely off the system and puts it back on. Yeah, unfortunately, but I don't know whether I'll have to do that or not. I might not. We will see. So, back to where I was, finding my sanity. Lost that shit a long time ago, though, saying that. Fucking prick. Fucking phone. My phone is a cunt when you try to scan my fingerprint. Every fucking time you get over it, fucking flush against the fucking phone. Pain in the ass. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass, sometimes it can be okay, it just depends on what I'm doing. Oh, fuck. It'd be nice sometimes if, you know, because a couple of times I've had to update apps. It fucking annoys me. I have to go on my phone and actually adjust it so it fucking does the updates. I'm like, fuck off, cunt. Really? Crazy! That's what I am. I already knew this part. We already knew how fucking crazy I was to start with. I'm not gonna complain too much though. Things have it's been a pretty relatively good week. I mean, it's been a bit stressful in some parts, but some parts haven't been too bad either. I'm dealing with things as best I can. My sister still has to take the tiles out of the workshop, so I can get that back. But that's not a problem. I know that she's working on that at the moment, so I'm not going to rush her with it. A big issue. In the meantime, I bought some new coils for my vaporizers because I needed to get some new coils anyway. So I bought a couple of different brands. I bought about 5 actually. I bought there's an E-Leaf one, which is this one. This is one of the vaporizer heads I use. I bought some new coils for that one, and I bought some new coils for my Atlantis tanks that I have, and I bought some new coils for my Nautilus mini tank, which, you know, that's all plus, so it's all good. So that's plus side. All seems to be working pretty well, which is great. In between that, I checked on my feedback and everything else, which has been pretty good so far. eBay's been pretty quiet. It hasn't been too bad. I've sold a couple of things here and there, but nothing too substantial of late. in between that, I've just been purchasing things mostly. Also looking into PC builds and stuff because somebody actually asked me, they were curious what it would cost to put together a certain type of gaming computer. Or was I think it was for photo? It was actually for photo editing that they wanted the machine for, and I'm like, okay, this is what it's going to cost you brand new. This is what it's going to cost you for brand new parts, and this is what it's going to cost you for, say, not reconditioned, but secondhand parts off eBay of the older models of those CPUs specifically. Because I mean, I don't know. I always try to do whenever I'm building someone a computer, whether it's a gaming computer or not, I try to suit the person's budget if I can help it. If you're going to build a computer for someone, you build it to their budget. You build it to the best specification you can on the best budget you can, which is pretty much a given. So at the end of it, yeah, especially when you're building a gaming computer, you've got to take into consideration how much money the person has as well. And then, there's some people who have, plenty of disposable income, and some people who don't. So I always build something. I always build it whenever I'm building a rig for myself. I always build it to budget anyway. So the other thing too is I reuse a lot of parts, whether it's parts out of my computer and things like that, or at the tower beside me. I'll reuse the parts. I'll reuse the case. I'll reuse the hard drives. Whatever I can reuse, I try to reuse it anyway. So that way, I'm not forking out more money for unnecessary components when I've already got perfectly good ones on me. It's always good though. What the fuck is that? So my website's not doing too bad. I do want to. I want to do a bit of editing on it, to be honest. Maybe add some more things, take away some things. Set it on fire, bitch. I don't really feel that anyway, but it's a little blowtorch thing. Let's see. So what the fuck do I want to do with this? On computer repair networking. So I need to adjust this side a little bit. So I want to see. I want to check on Google. I'm pretty sure it comes up on Google now, but I adjusted a few things to make the keywords a bit more prominent, just to see if that helped. Let's see. It's still there, sort of. Combination. Some parts of it anyway. Well, I mean, most of the time if you look up Fallen Computer Repair or Fallen Gaming 949, my stuff pops up anyway. It's on Google, so it doesn't really matter. It's pretty prominent on there in most cases. So. It's alright, I probably still need to make adjustments to certain things, I guess. But I will do that over time. There's probably more stuff I need to add to my site. I haven't really been doing much blogging lately, or not a massive amount anyway. A little bit of blogging and things like that occasionally, but I mean, other things, photos of some of the work I've done over time and stuff like that. So, some things that I've ended up getting up to, whether it's getting rid of virus infections, or building a machine, or building a reconditioned machine, or something of that nature. I normally put a certain degree of photos up there. I do have to put more photos up on my website, I think, of some of the more of the work I've been doing, so. Some things, maybe. Need to change a bit. I've changed a few things around, maybe. I mean, most of it's relevant. Most of it's still relevant here. I mean, as long as I got this website set up. It's got my contact details there anyway, so. Not the hardest thing to find. I mean, there's always stuff more I can do with that. I can put more money into advertising if I want to. So. Still active those. About 16 items listed on eBay at the moment. I had a few hits on them. I mean, I've had a few people looking at them, a few people bookmark them. You know, it depends too, though. It varies, that's the problem. Sometimes you get a lot of people looking at them, sometimes you get shit all. It just varies on what you're doing, and whether it's being pushed for another website or not. Well, that's something I probably could do, just more advertising, I guess. I mean, I do a bit for Gumtree, but not as much. I don't put as much money into that as I could be. I have concluded, though, that sometimes with some of these things, especially these days, you know, sometimes it can be a word of mouth thing. Sometimes it can simply just be the fact that, you know, I mean, I've been doing this for 11 years, you know, fixing computers and doing stuff like that. I mean, sometimes I'll just simply do it because somebody gives me a case of beer or something like that, or, you know, or sometimes, and as I said, sometimes I do it for monetary value as well. Sorry, I do it for monetary value as well, but if something's a really piss easy job, I'm not going to, you know, go around charging somebody a bloody fortune for that. But on the other hand, too, I do know my own self-worth. I know how much I'm worth. In that sense of knowing what I'm worth, I know what my technical skills are worth, and I know what I'm worth in the sense of how technically minded I am, how good I am at my job, how good I am with doing any computing job in general. You know, that's my point. I know my level of qualifications too. Put it this way, I have a ton of certificates as well, a ton of stuff that I've done over the years. So, to be honest, there's a couple other things I wanted to try out as well, mainly just for my own benefit. I did a photography course years ago, and well, sorry, I did it in high school, actually. I did my original course in high school, and I wanted to get back to doing that, to be truthful. Sorry, I've just been probed, or one of my ports is being probed, according to my antivirus malware programs. Gotta love when that happens. It always happens, though, with certain torrent ports and stuff, you do get probed. And it's just because there's certain places and certain things actually look for those ports to be open if they are open initially. So, unfortunately, then you only have to close the ports off in most cases. Just because, I mean, it's mostly because, depending on the ports you've got open on your system, it can be certain cases or certain situations where it can be more easily hackable. So, I don't know, I've been doing this shit for years. I mean, I'm always constantly keeping myself up to date too. That's another thing I'm doing regularly. Is I watch it. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube videos on the subject. It's a funny part, though, you know. Some information is relatively up to date. Some of it's just, you know, stupid. But I also keep up with the latest tech articles too. I love reading all the different ones that are out there. That's not including them limited to AMD and Intel CPUs. I keep up with the latest CPUs that are coming out. The latest graphics cards are being released from Nvidia and AMD. I try to anyway. Normally I'll look at a review or, you know, a benchmark or something like that. I'll check out the benchmarks as well, just to find out, you know, what's the latest and the greatest, what seems to be working the best, what isn't working the best, what seems to crap out at times, you know, other issues like that. So, and that's some of the information I get from other YouTubers who are in the same technical points, because they're... Okay, firstly, I'm in Australia. I can only keep up with the latest tech that's coming out, and I guess, in Australia. And the US always gets priority on everything. Like, you know, that's my point. The US gets priority on every piece of tech, so it's always released there first. There's always more news coming out of most things. Like, mostly out of there, you know? So, to a certain extent, you've got to... I don't know, this, especially the IT industry, you've got to keep yourself up to date. If you don't, you're a fucking idiot. I mean, that's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of people. They get left behind if they don't keep themselves up to date at all. I think that's the main problem. Like, well, especially in the IT industry. Particularly these days when it comes to IT. The other thing too you find with IT though, I mean, I will say though with IT, a bit of arrogance comes with it. Because, you know, presuming to know the knowledge that you know, not just the knowledge you know, but the knowledge that you remember and you retain over time, then knowing the newest, latest, greatest technology is another thing. I think with most IT people, there comes this bit of sense of knowing a lot more than other people. Not just that, but knowing computers inside and out. Computers is not always the easiest thing to know. I mean, I've met some people, the most computer illiterate people you will ever meet, in the sense of how they deal with computers. Generally, having to do anything with a computer is just, you know, freaking. You may as well just, you know, throw. Pretty much, you may as well just throw a fucking. Well, sorry, you may as well be speaking Latin to them, pretty much. Because it's what it's like for some people. They just, you know, they can't understand anything about computers at all. Like, you know, any concept at all about computers and how they work, or any idea generally. No, but they have no fucking idea. I will be honest though, most of the time if you're in the IT industry and you start talking shit to a technician, and that technician knows a lot more than you, not just that, but the technician has been around longer than you, they can tell straight off you're full of shit. Like, in the sense of full of shit, whether you're talking about the technology or whether you're talking about your experience or whatever, you know, most of the time they will be able to tell, pretty much, if you're full of crap. So. I don't know. I don't presume to know everything, but I do know a hell of a lot, and I do retain a hell of a lot of my knowledge. So, you know, I can say that about myself. There's also the other stuff. I know a lot of useless information about old tech as well. I mean, there's a lot of old tech out there, and there still is to this day. A ton of old tech. Whether it's IDE hard drives or serial, what do they call it? Serial ATA? I think it's serial. Yeah, they call it serial ATA. What the hell was it? Oh, it's just trying to think now. I mean, IDE's relatively old. Then there was your server drives. Not SATA, was it SATA? There's a ton of, there's ISO slots as well, DDR RAM, SD RAM. Jesus, this is my point. I mean, although I know a lot about that stuff too. I mean, that's the older technology anyway, but that's because I had to deal with a lot of it. Well, I still do volunteer there. I'm admin their Facebook page. It was fucking yeah, serial ATA. What do they call it? The serial ATA? Pretty sure. I mean, look, there's like a ton of stuff. I mean, put it this way, there's a ton of tech. I mean, okay, the stuff that we're doing these days is much more up to date, but which I'm actually thankful for that, because it's a lot easier to deal with, because there was a lot of issues that you could really get fucking stuck on years ago, in the sense of like how something wouldn't work, or that might not work according to plan. I don't know, most of the time I'm okay, I don't know, shit. to be a crazy motherfucker. Absolutely bad shit. Bad shit crazy, I tell you. Oh, alright. Get myself some more. Detoxes. Charcoal tablets, people. Do detox your body. I did actually need to pick up on a few more bits and pieces as well. A few more kicking out stimulants. I will be right back. I'm just gonna go out and have a quick smoke, and I will be back in a moment. Where did I put? Oh, there she is. Don't care about that so much. Bloody. Only thing that annoys me sometimes is cleaning this bloody pipe out. It's not too bad to clean out sometimes, but it's a pain in the ass other times. Just started raining out there. Shit. Just bloody weather. I'm clarity of mind, people. That's what life is like sometimes. Clarity of bullshit and clarity of mind, depending on how you're feeling. Sometimes it can just be one big fuck up after another. I don't know, if it depends on the person you are. I mean, for me, balance is pretty good. I mean, in most cases. I do have situations where my life doesn't always balance out how I expect it to. But in most cases, it's pretty balanced. Unless I'm having a particularly bad week and I'm having a shitty week, or, you know, something shitty is happening in my life. It's negative time, it's something really bad, but it's not always the case. Still got gas. Maybe I'll refill that at some point. Put that away, chuck those in the bin. That'll work. Right, back to where I was. Yeah, so before then I was talking about different things. I don't know, as I said, I have good and bad things in my life going on at the moment, so it's mostly good. I mean, I'd say there hasn't been really any really bad negative aspects lately. Things have been pretty easygoing and relaxed. Trying to keep myself going, I guess, to a certain extent. In between that, I've been trying to keep myself as busy as possible, but at the same time, I've also, I mean, I've been, I don't know, I've been doing a few things online. Last couple of days, it's just mostly been browsing through Facebook videos and YouTube videos and stuff like that, and watching some of those. In between, watching some live streaming stuff. But on top of that, I did Google a few things yesterday. I would be able to grow my channel and grow stuff and do certain things. So in between that stuff, I'm actually researching into new avenues of ways of getting across stuff. I mean, whether it's the fact you want to grow your business, or whether it's the fact you want to grow your channel, or you want to achieve something out of it. I've been researching a lot of different things. Also looked up yesterday how to get rid of negative thoughts and negative energy, which has been something that I've consistently had to deal with most of the time in my life. It's not easy sometimes, because you do get those moments where you literally do, all you have is negative energy and negative reflection, whether it's on yourself or other people around you. And the conclusion I've come to is it's going to happen, unfortunately. It's just the way it is. That's the thing. It's a mixture with me. You know, as I said, some days I'll wake up, I'll be the most positive person on the planet. Other days I'll wake up, I feel like absolute shit. You know, it's like, no, there's just nothing positive about today at all. But the truth is, that can stem from the fact that I got up in the morning and something just totally put my fucking entire day off. Like, something didn't go my way, something didn't fall in place, shit just decided to hit the fan literally, and, you know, it all pretty much fucked up. Now, that has happened to me a few times, you know, I've literally got up in the morning, it's like, fuck, no, it's just not my fucking day. What the fuck is this shit, you know? Kind of being pissed about stuff, so... It's not every day that happens, though. Oh, business has been a bit quiet. I mean, generally any repair stuff has been pretty quiet, so, at this point. Yeah, it's been a bit quiet lately. But it's funny though. I go for these peak periods where I get a lot of repairs, and I go for these periods where I don't barely get any at all. So it sort of varies. That's the thing. Sometimes it's consistent of getting those things, and sometimes it's a little bit inconsistent. I think it just depends on whether people have got repairs or not. I've had moments, you know, as I said, I have moments where people recommend me for repairs too, for word of mouth sort of thing. But it's a case of just getting shit done when shit needs to be done, basically. There's a few adjustments I could probably make on my website, but I just don't know what it's going to be. Maybe add some more photos from old work that I did. Maybe, we'll see. I don't know, as I said, with me, in my entire life, there's always a certain comfort level I have to be at. I mean, whether it's to work or whether it's to do things in my life. The other thing, too, is I have to be interested in the subject in question, you know? That is another issue in my life sometimes. If I'm not interested in a particular subject, I'm not going to pay any fucking attention to it. It's just going to go out one ear and in one ear and out the other. If it's a subject that I feel passionate about, or I have some degree of passion about, and, you know, I mean, I'm a fairly creative person, so if it's something I'm really passionate about, I will definitely put my, you know, a good amount of fucking effort into it. But the other side of it, too, is there's the same context when I was back in high school. Some things I looked at in high school and I went, fuck, why the hell do I have to learn this? This is fucking pointless and fucking stupid. I don't feel like fucking learning it, firstly. I mean, it's not just the fact that I don't feel like learning it, but, like, it's just bullshit, because I think, when the fuck am I going to use this practically in real life? Real life, you know, I mean, when it's down to real life experience and real life things that you do, some of the shit you learn in school is just fucking stupidly, ridiculously pointless and irrelevant to me. You know, some of it, I'm not saying all of it, but some of it. Close most of that anyway. But yes, that is the crazy life we live. Hey, mate. So I've still got to do that though. What the fuck is that? I need something better. I was listening to music the other night, but I haven't been able to work on desktops as much, which I really haven't had a massive amount of desktops lately, any gaming desktops or anything like that. So, you know, that's bound to happen from time to time. I don't know, it's sort of weird. I mean, it depends on where you go to. I mean, different areas, different places, you know, they have different amounts of stuff happening. I found the issue sometimes with Canberra is that not necessarily everybody wants to buy a gaming machine. Other things that people do is they do buy their own gaming, or they build their own gaming machines. That's something else people do. I mean, true gamers normally end up building their own machine, but the other side of it too, if you want somebody to build it out of parts, for example, that you buy, and you're not confident in doing it yourself, definitely get somebody who's professional to do it, you know? I don't know. I always try to be consistently professional if I can help it. I'm far from perfect, but, you know, I've never had a complaint of my machines coming back with issues. Well, not entirely. No. I've maybe had one machine in the entire time. It was a laptop too, and the reason that it came back is because it was still running slow. And that's alright. I figured out it was software related anyway, so I fixed that. And I have a warranty of a month anyway. If there's a problem, just bring it back to me, and I'll have a look at it within that month. Though saying that, if somebody accidentally gets viruses and shit on their system, yeah, you know, okay, I feel it's the client's fault. Say, for example, they have antivirus on the system, they have a decent antivirus on the system, and they turn it off to go to a website. That, to me, is dodgy. Firstly, dodgy because you should never turn your antivirus off, even if a fucking website tells you. I don't know what fucking is. I don't know. Like, it's just common cybersecurity rules. Don't turn your fucking antivirus off, dumbass. I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah. I don't know. It's just the most intelligent thing you can do is not turn your fucking antivirus off. But apparently people are just too... Some people are too... Well, I'll be honest. Some people are too stupid to figure that out. Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, you know. As somebody myself, personally, who occasionally browses porn and stuff, I will be honest. Not all your infections come from porn. You can get them from legitimate websites. But the truth is, if you're browsing any type of porn on any... Like, if you're browsing porn on the internet, you ultimately have to fucking have some type of protection on your system. You're an idiot if you don't. Like, you're just a fucking absolute fuckwit if you have no protection whatsoever. Well, I mean, at the very minimum, have a minimal amount of protection, or it's, you know, at least a good free protection. It's always like that, isn't it? It does get me though, like the way people treat their computers sometimes. I mean, I myself, I try to treat my computer with a certain degree of respect. You know, I dust it out every so often, I'll clean it up, I'll run software scanners across it to make sure there's no virus infections on the system. I try to make sure my components are working and fine-tuned, and, you know, in fine-tuned working condition in most cases. The only issues that I ever have is fucking software issues. And I mean, that's mostly down to Windows 10. Not that Windows 10 is buggy, well, some parts. I mean, I'm using... What am I using at the moment? At this point in time, I'm using... I'm using the latest release of Windows 10. It's an insider build, so it's probably going to have a couple of bugs anyway. So that's to be expected, to be honest. It's because I'm sort of beta testing it, technically. Because that's what happens with most insider builds. You're pretty much beta testing it for Microsoft. Any problems I do come across, I tend to report anyway. You know, just so they can fix them. But most of the issues I've had are pretty common across Windows 10. The other thing, too, is that I am using older video cards. They are 770s. I think half my problems are related to the fact that the video cards that I'm using at this point in time, they're not, put it this way, they're not DirectX 12 compatible. They should be. Well, I mean, sorry, they are compatible, but they're not actually DirectX 12, like, fully compatible. Like, they're supposed to be compatible, but that's the thing. Unless you're buying the newer cards, which is the brand spanking new ones that are out now, you're gonna find that it is gonna be an issue with Windows 10. Even, I mean, especially if you've got older cards. See, I know for a while the 770s. See, well, I think most of it relates back to Windows 10 driver issues. Windows 10 driver issues, NVIDIA being a bit slackish, especially in supporting older cards because they're assholes that way. They pretty much try to make shit obsolete, which is fucking annoying. See, it's sort of weird. It's consistency things, I guess. I know for a while, because I was running SLI, that a lot of issues would crop up every time I tried to update the drivers for my NVIDIA cards. And there was a lot of issues for a while. It's not so bad now. It's actually become a lot better. It's not as, it's not as prominent anyway. I'm finding anyway. I'm going to end my stream on Facebook now because I probably want to play a couple of PC games anyway. So share myself out too. Share myself out properly on Windows 10 anyway. There we go. Alright, so that's shared out. Perfect. Now, so no, I just want to muck around. I mean, still the other ones. I've turned that off anyway for now. So maybe that'll help with. I don't know what it is. It's weird. I wasn't having this problem before. Well, I sort of was. I sort of wasn't. It would come and go. Sometimes I would have issues with the Xbox One lagging a bit, and sometimes I wouldn't. Alright, let's see, that one's good. Let's see how it goes. So let me try, I was running a couple of games anyway, so let me see. Freaking, what is that there? Where's that shit? Okay, so what I want to do now, let's see. So I'm just curious. I want to see. Couldn't get it to work before. Well, maybe there's an issue with it anyway. But I want to see if I can get this running. Okay, that's weird. Why am I getting that little fucking screen in the corner there? Oh. Well, where the fuck? Okay, hold on a second. I'm getting double ups of screens and shit. That's not good. Detect. Okay. Remove. So no fucking idea what that was there. That was fucking annoying. Right. Let's try that again, shall we? It's auto detect system. Guess we've been a pain in the ass. Alright, never mind. So yeah, I couldn't get this. Well, I sort of got it working before, but I was having problems with the frame rates and shit being all over the place, which kind of fucking annoyed me, to be honest. And hence. Quantum Break's actually not that bad. I played about 5 hours of it, so it wasn't too bad overall. Got a solid 60 frames at the moment, which is great. So I fixed the lag, because there was some pretty severe lag before. That was a big issue before. When I was trying to do stuff, so I did notice that reinstalling the driver did make a difference. Okay, so yeah, the game's actually not that bad. Why is that set to that? It's probably gonna play fucking shitty. Oh no, maybe not. It's actually annoying. I probably have to play it on 1080p. Let me just see. Is that on? That's off. Okay. What have I got this on? Medium. It's on medium. I'll just turn everything to medium. Here's what I had it set on before. It's not too bad. We'll see how it plays. It's not a bad game though. As I said, I played about freaking 5 hours worth of the bastard, and I did enjoy it quite immensely, I might say. Probably can't hear the fucking sound. I probably have to change it back to my default speakers. Fucking annoying. I'd probably have to turn it down to actually get a decent play out of it. I think it's mainly to do with the frame rates and just the optimization of this game. It wasn't a very well optimized game to start with, so I'd probably have to turn the fucking thing down anyway. Go. See, it's not too bad. Frame rates seem okay now. So, Yeah, the frame rate isn't very consistent. That is the problem, though. So this thing called, they call it, like time vision. You can So, yeah, so, I mean, it's not a bad game overall. As I said, I'd probably have to turn it down because it's not fully optimized for running on specific... Oh, that's high. Okay, why is... Okay. Turn that down a bit. Sort of weird. It's up and down with the frame rates anyway, but that's alright. I mean, it's playable, put it that way. It doesn't feel like it's lagging. It doesn't honestly feel like it's lagging, so... I mean, obviously, other games that I end up going through always end up with a high frame rate. It's not bad, though. I mean, it's not a bad game. It looks pretty good. I think, as I said, the optimization factor of this game probably... I mean, I don't know, probably some new graphics cards would help. I mean, even with the 770s in SLI, you know, these are... I mean, considering that there's been a fair few fucking releases of new cards these days, I probably am not running at my peak efficiency with the video cards that I do have. Shit, okay, so I'm gonna probably leave that there. I'll restart that checkpoint at some other time. That's alright, that's working though. Okay, so yeah, that worked, which is good. So that's... then, like, say for example, the low end, I mean, some of the low or high end games. But see, the other thing, I'll give you a good example of actual games that work when you expect them to fucking work. What is it? Doom. Doom is always consistently the same frame rate. I've had no problems with getting good frame rate out of it most of the time, which is a plus side. I mean, considering the way the game's designed, I mean, I've consistently never had an issue with frame rate in it. I don't know, that might change now that I've done this shit, but... Let me see here. Come on. Fucking wank. This is annoying. It's kind of annoying because every fucking time that I do a reinstall of my operating system, every fucking time, and it pisses me off that every time that this does happen, but every fucking time, what has a tendency to happen is I have to reinstall, like hit the reinstall button, and I have to reinstall games on a constant basis. You're going to sit there for 20 minutes deciding you're not going to fucking work. Considering... Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I haven't had any problem with consistency and frame rates in this, to be honest. This has actually been pretty good. That's the thing. I've never had a problem with getting a consistent frame rate in Doom. Like games like Quantum Break and other games that I've come across... It seems like, and I'm not saying all companies are this way, but some companies I've come across have been absolute arseholes about the way they optimize the games. Primarily because they either don't optimize it enough, or they optimize it crappily, like do a really shitty job with it. It's just life, unfortunately. That does happen from time to time, so... mean, obviously, well, obviously in my mind, I think if I had better cards, I probably wouldn't have this issue as much. Because there's nothing wrong with the AMD FX 9590 I've got. I think it's just my video cards that let me down because they're older. About due for an upgrade. I mean, at this point, I'm tossing up, and I'm probably just gonna buy. I might just hold off, and I'll just keep my current rig. And what I will do is I'll buy 2 new 770 cards. That might just that's what I'm gonna fucking do. I'm gonna buy 2 new 770s. I've got, I mean, not 770s, 1070s. Sorry. I'm gonna buy 2 new 1070s. And fuck it, yeah, that's gonna be definitely the thing I'm gonna be going for. So. Also, though, I've had a pretty consistent rate. This is the thing I do like about Doom, though. It is pretty consistent with the way it works. Oh, look at that, you know? That's pretty smooth. That's a nice, smooth frame rate. And that's the thing about, like... Say, for example, like Quantum Break, as you saw, the frame rate was shitting itself completely. That is the frustrating thing with some games. Some games just... The optimization is fucking shithouse, and I can't understand how some of these companies get away with it. Well, look at this. This is my point. I'm getting consistent frame rate. And that's the thing, I mean, look at that. Look how fucking well optimized that is. That's what I like about this Doom. They actually did a damn good optimization job on it. I'm pretty impressed with that. Look at that. You're just literally flying around the map. Why the fuck can't every game be like this? Like, why can't I have that consistent frame rate with every fucking game I throw at my system? You know, like, that's the sort of thing I want. I just want that all the time. Like, this is the frame rate I want all the fucking time. And this is my point, this is a pretty new game, so, you know. See what I mean? Like, this is my fucking point. Look at that. That's fantastic. So this is my point. Like, stuff like that, fucking, I'm impressed with when they actually do. When they do get a game right, that is fucking impressive. I mean, you got the older games. Obviously, the older games are going to be fucking fine because most of the older games are, you know, they're for an older version of DirectX. Not just that, but they're generally a better. You know, they run better in general. So. Too bad though. So, saying that, I mean, most games I have run pretty well. I mean, I've rarely seen a game that English. I have to install this shit now. You bastard! It's probably gonna get me to install all this shit now. You bastard! You killed Kenny, bitches. Same. But there has been a bit of a debacle with some of the drivers. Not earlier ones, but... Enable cloud saves. Continue. I already knew I had cloud saves anyway, so that's not a problem. Keep all. I'm just going to keep every single one of my save games. I'm going to keep them all. Keep all. Cloud save conflicts. Your selections are final overridden files. Unable to load and file metadata. The fuck? Well, that'll work, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Actually, hold on a second. What's that say? 34%. So that's actually one of the previous missions. So what the fuck? Oh, well, maybe I'll just go with that one because it's probably the better option. Confirm. I'll go with that because I'm pretty sure it'll be right anyway. There was an issue though a while back with GTA 5 where they were losing save files. That was a big issue for a while. Come on. Waiting. Yeah, that was a big issue about 2 or 3 months. No, it would have been longer than that. Maybe like a year ago or something. They lost a bunch of fucking data. A bunch of people were pissed because basically they lost a bunch of fucking data on the for the save games and everything else, and it fucked everything else up. So. I will say though, I know if I upgrade myself to 1070s, I should be pretty well set with this computer because it's still running pretty damn well. I think generally having newer video cards would help my situation a hell of a lot, to be honest. Definitely. Story mode. Can I load a save game, or do I have to go into the save game? Did it load my save game? It should, because I saw there was a few copies of it. So. Been around the world, I'm a wandering boy. I'm a wanderer. I'm a wanderer. I go wandering round. GTA Online, bitches. I'll have to log into that at some point. Fuck, and my fucking YouTube chat broke again. Fuck you, YouTube chat. You are giving me the shits. Every fucking time. Every fucking time. I'm really annoyed with the inconsistency of that fucking plugin. Ah, shit. That is annoying. Frustrating as fucking hell, I tell you. Literally broken cunt. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, that's not bad. That is fucking retarded. Okay, hold on a moment. Fuck you, YouTube chat. Fucking cockhead. Every fucking time. It seems to break now. I don't know why, but every fucking time. Fucking fuck you, seriously. What the fuck is that shit? Cockhead. Now it's back. Fucking frustrating, you cunt. What the fuck? Fucking prick. I'm yet to fucking understand why the fuck that keeps breaking. Seems to be a consistency fucking issue with it breaking. Alright. Fucking ass. I don't know, most games work pretty well though. I haven't had any major issues with games breaking badly, but or stuff breaking badly, but sometimes it just fucking frustrates me. I do actually have to pay up a subscription for my XSplit as well, which is due on the 16th, from what I gathered. Yep. Alright, so back to what I was fucking trying to do. Well, I know that works. Just want to see if this other one's works. I just want to make sure this works. I don't know, to be honest, I've got to launch a percentage of these games anyway, because most of them haven't, like, well, according to the system, they haven't been technically launched. So yeah, it can be a bit of a pain in the ass there. Ooh, dear me. Installing Microsoft DirectX, step 2 of 2. Oh shit, Sherlock, really? Really, really? Really, really? Working, I'll just make sure. The good thing though is a lot of, like, well, not all game saves, but a percentage of game saves these days are on the cloud, so it's pretty good. Yeah, that's good. That works. So that game works. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers. I know pretty much, I'm pretty sure that Left 4 Dead would work anyway. It was working before, last time I used it. Skip that shit. I just want to make sure this is fucking working. But I don't know, there's a lot of games I've got to relaunch anyway, so, I mean, I'll probably be a fucking week fiddling around with those. Because, I mean, I do have a pretty large database again. I'll probably have over 200 games. I don't think I've got that many installed. I've got like 100 and something of them installed. So, 159, I think. So, not an issue. So that's working. Yippee. I know, I'm pretty sure that one was working before anyway, but just wanted to make sure. Oh, man, I gotta install it. Oh. So, there's probably still a ton of games that I gotta try it anyway. I don't know, as I said, it would be nice with some of the more modern games if some of them worked more consistently at times. It's not always the case, but some of them can be a pain in the ass because well, sometimes they'll be great and they'll get a fucking perfect frame rate, and other times they'll just shit themselves, literally. System Shock, Stigmats. Like I said, there's just some really unoptimized fucking games. Like, seriously, like, optimization-wise, they're just fucking shithouse. It's not all of them, though. What else we got? Let's see. And then, you know, I've had some games that run fucking great. They're like, you know, they're consistent. They always have the same fucking frame rate, and they're great. They're great to play. And then other games just like fucking shits himself after a couple of minutes of playing. Let's have a look. I might just launch this up because I haven't launched it up for a while. Might shit itself as well. Crap, now I gotta go through all this fucking activation shit again. Fucking hell, this is the reason I hate this game. It's not so much a problem with, say for example, online, because I don't really do as much online as I used to with this. I mean, I think most of the Microsoft servers have been deactivated. They used to be able to play this online because this was for games live, or Windows Live for games, which was, you know, pretty much short-lived for the fucking lifespan that it had. So, fucking work, or is it going to be a cunt? Of course. Oh, yeah, Windows fucking Live for games. Figures I have to fucking install that. So... probably play it offline. That's the problem. The other thing too was like save games in this was an absolute pain in the ass. Hence the reason I don't think I ended up fucking finishing it, because of that reason. The save game shit was a pain in the ass. A lot of crap going on in the system was a pain in the ass to deal with, and fuck me, it just drove me fucking potty. Still works, that's good. What I might just do, yes, I'll create an offline profile. Just easiest. No. I want to create a local profile. There we go. Not worried about achievement shit. Done. Consistency of this fucking bullshit. Graphics. Jesus. Apply. Yes. It should be alright. See what that ends up performing like. Just want to see. Though this game had optimization problems to begin with, so. GTA 5 never had as many optimization issues. Oh, well, aside from that, I mean, GTA 5 was more designed to run at 60 frames and was, you know, it's just generally designed to run better. I'm finding from personal experience anyway, so. Starting a new game. Skip some of this shit, I think. That's the only annoying part with this, the Ballad of Gay Tony. You've got to actually, go for a certain process. Like, you've got to save the game and everything else. Before, like, you got to get to a certain point at the beginning before you can save the game, which is rather frustrating. Wasn't the case so much with the other ones anyway, but... Oof, Jesus. This game is still shitting itself, that's surprising. Oh no, come on. What? Wow, that is fucking retarded. VSync off. Is it VSync off, dumbass? There always seemed to be an issue with this game. If you had certain things on VSync or whatever, and just optimization was always shithousing it. See what I mean? The consistency between like I don't understand how. I mean, this is a very similar game in textures, and it runs like a piece of fucking ass. Explains a hell of a lot though. Fucking a lot has changed since they released GTA 5 and they did a lot of optimizations on it. You know, they did a lot of good stuff with it, so I'm not going to complain too much. But Jesus, fucking pathetic. Tomb Raider, Split Cell, Splinter Cell. I think most of these other games would be alright. I've just had those few games. It's like, you know, you want to try them, you want to get them working properly, you want to make sure they're done, you know, you want to make sure they're functioning. I mean, the amount of times I probably had to reinstall my drivers because of episodes from Liberty City or, say, for example, GTA 4 is ridiculous. Consistency with this with the fucking frame rate was always a fucking pain in the ass. Borderlands and these other games I never had really any big issues with, so... Borderlands always ran pretty well. Bioshock Infinite ran pretty well. Alan Wake always ran pretty well. Black Ops, most of the time I run pretty well. I've had a couple of inconsistency issues with that. Fallout 3, not too bad. Most of the time it ran pretty well. Far Cry 3, I think it was the same too. That was pretty well for pretty good for frame rate, so no big complaints. This is some of these are games. Some of these games are older, some are newer. I've got some of the newer ones. I do find though, I mean, it depends on the game. It depends on what the game's designed to do too. Some games, you know, run fucking great, like, you know, they bang on all the time and they run perfectly. Other games I've had to just run like fucking shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? Who the fuck optimized this piece of shit? It does make me wonder with some games, you know, like. It makes me wonder with some games whether they're actually putting the effort into it or not, you know, like whether they're putting any effort into the games at all, you know. So that's something that can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Right, let's see. Splinter Cell Conviction, Tomb Raider, Shadow Warrior, Unreal Tournaments. Not bad games indeed. Yeah, I mean, I've got the full database I've got is about 210 games, and installed I have 179 of them installed. Now, I mean, okay, for most of these games I haven't had any problems with them running or not running correctly. There's maybe one or two that don't, but other side of it is too, I don't always buy brand new games either. If I'm really into a game and I really feel like getting into it, sure. But it also depends on what game I'm into as well. I used to be able to play with certain people, but now... Well, the people I used to play with were okay. The problem I found is, as I said, there was just an issue with them. I don't know. I've lost contact with... Those were the ones I was talking about got manipulated. But that person, she was a naggy bitch anyway, so probably better off that I don't go near her anyway. Let's see. Top of that, she wasn't. I mean, she was a gamer, but she was more of an Xbox gamer than a PC gamer, I guess. Skyborn, because I was born to be a sky hog, sky monkey, sky penis. Consistency, people, consistency. That is what the world is full of. Inconsistencies and consistencies, I guess. How you look at it. Oh, and the other thing I want to do is just want to check and see if there's any firmware updates for this. If there is, that's great. If there isn't, that's not an issue either. I just want to make sure there's no firmware updates for my drive. I don't know, I'm thinking about getting at least two 1070s at this point. firmware updates. Just see if we've got any firmware updates at the moment. Okay. Hello. Up. That's alright, firmware is up to date. That's great. The job is in good health. I don't know. As I said, there's a couple of different games I wouldn't mind trying at some point, I guess. Or getting my hands on. It's a Vampire one. Vampire Hunter Stream. It's good though. I do keep an eye out for certain games to see when they come on special. I wouldn't mind trying Prey out actually. Let's see when I do get a bit extra cash, I might see if I can pick up a copy of that. So yeah, I bought a bunch of coils for my vaporizers that I have. In between that, I've been doing some stuff on websites. I don't know, in between that, I've been doing my little bits and pieces, I guess, depending on how I'm feeling. See how it goes anyway from now. Let's see. Postal prototype 2. Shadow Warrior. Let's see. Left 4 Dead 4, Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead 3. I would love a Left 4 Dead 3 actually. I'd love that to come out. But it seems it's just not fucking on the agenda. By the looks of it. Deathmatch. fucking cunt. Don't lag. Get fucked, you whore. There we go. Now it's coming back. Kind of fucking annoying. As I said, I think a big change to my system would be 2 new video cards. I just need to save the cash for them. But the truth is, there's always something, I don't know, especially these days, there's always something you can spend your money on. So it's a bit hard sometimes saving, especially if you're somebody like me who's a bit of an upgrade, I admit I'm a bit of an upgradeaholic for certain things, or, you know, novelty things, gadgets and stuff like that, even some of that stuff. I admit I get caught up in actually, you know, buying that stuff. It's not as if I get caught up in buying it all the time, but sometimes there's always something new that I might want, a certain gadget or a certain item, you know, and it's easy to spend your money on something. The other side of it too is, I mean, you know, bills are going to be paid as well, so they're a first priority factor. Pretty good, not much lag. It's pretty gnarly. I do need to dust my machine out, but I haven't had much of a chance to do that because I don't really have enough fucking room in my workshop to be able to do a proper dust out of a machine, unfortunately, because there is a fuckload of tiles in near my workbench, which I would normally put my machine up on there and I would normally give it a bit of a dust out. Unfortunately, my sister is taking up the space with a bunch of tiles, so I cannot do much about that at this point. Fuck! Ah, you fucking prick. This is a fucking lag issue. It's alright, it probably does need a bit of a dust out, to be honest. I haven't checked the temperatures for a while, but I don't think the temperatures were doing too bad on my machine last time I checked. It's alright, I may give it a bit of a burl maybe today or tomorrow. I'll bring in my air compressor and maybe I'll do it inside the house. Not that I really want to do that, but probably the easiest option. A minute, other ways I can do it. I do have to organise the cables in my system though. Somebody did point out, well, people point, I mean, I know my cable management in this system is not, it's shit house. I mean, it's not that great, to be honest. I've organised it sort of higgledy-piggledy, and I really could probably do a better job of it. But the reason I don't is because I'm upgrading it so often and I'm pulling it apart and doing other stuff that clamping it all down is just, you know, an absolute pain in the ass. Say, for example, I do clamp it down with a couple of cable ties or other stuff and things like that. The problem with that is that if I do it, it's just gonna fucking, I'm just gonna have to fucking undo it at some point anyway. So, you know. Fuck you, cunt. Unfortunately, it's just easier for me to keep it loose. Or loose to a certain extent, anyway. Then saying that, I do have a lot of cables in that system, so... I mean, it's the other side of it too, is I do have a lot of shit in there. I mean, not a lot of shit, but a lot of stuff in there, you know. I mean, at least fucking 6 hard drives. 6 hard drives, 2 video cards, fuckload of RAM, water cooling to boot, fuckload of fans, and you know, I need a few fans connectors loose as well, so I can connect 2 fans at certain points. Saying that, I could probably be a bit neater with the way that I put the fans in there. I don't know. I'm considering a rebuild at some point, like into a new case. Something that's maybe a little more spacious. I mean, not to say this case isn't spacious, but I'm talking maybe something a little bit bigger, so there's a little bit more airflow. I do find that is key though, with anything these days, is airflow in your system. If there is no airflow at all in your system, that's when you normally run into problems, when there's, you know, temperature problems or temperature issues. If something is running hot, it will automatically cause the system to lag or cause other problems to crop up, typically. And it's funny though, I don't know, because somebody was talking to me before. Who was it? This guy that I regularly... I've done a gaming build for him in the past. He, I spoke to him and he said something about there's some beeping sounds cropping up every time that he rebooted his computer, and he couldn't figure out why. I don't know what it was, but it was something to do with... well, I'm pretty sure it was something to do with... specifically to do with stuff in his system. Well, actually, I don't know. From what I gathered from him, it was beeping. It was beeping at him every time he restarted the computer or did a couple of things. And I said, look, bring it around and I'll have a look at it. And he never brought it around to me. I'm like, okay. I was willing to have a look at it and see what was going on with it, basically. But he didn't bring it around, so... What's the other side of it too? I mean, like, put it this way, you can make a lot of money out of Twitch, YouTube and all this other stuff. And it's not impossible to make money out of it. It just depends. I mean, the other side of it too is you can get people to give you sizable donations too. But I don't know, it seems to be a lot of the stuff that's happening though, but like... I don't know. I've done some stupid stuff. Okay, put it this way. For me, doing stupid stuff on the net, like just randomly getting drunk and, you know, a bit stoned and shit, occasionally, people have reacted more to that. They've reacted fucking more to that than they have to my professional life. I'm like, well, fuck off, cunt. I mean, seriously. I'm a fucking professional IT technician, firstly, and I get no fucking recognition for that shit. Like, that's fucking bullshit. Like, how can some fucking, you know, fucking chick fucking hang her tits out? Now, this is what happens. I'm just noted, I'm not saying always, but some fucking random ass chick hangs her fucking tits out. Well, not completely, but that has happened on a few Twitch channels. Hangs her fucking tits out and gets all this fucking money and all these fucking donations and all this fucking shit. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I mean, you know, I don't get that. I really don't. Like, and I act professional, do my fucking job, do the right thing, fucking act like a proper technician, you know, and the weird part is people want to see you fail. It's fucking pathetic. Like, we live in a society where that's adamantly what people want to do. They either want to see you fucking fail or do something fucking stupid. That is fucking retarded, I'm sorry. That's not the society we should live in. We should appreciate people for their professionalism and their fucking integrity. You know, like, what the fuck's with that shit, huh? To me, that doesn't even make fucking sense. Get fucked, fuckhead. Like, I'm sorry, that literally pisses me off. If a person cannot get fucking recognition for their professionalism and their fucking job and their fucking work, how the fuck are we living in a society where it's like some chick randomly hangs her fucking tits out the window and gets fucking recognition for that straight away? Look, I know that fucking... I'm well aware, look, like, you know, sex is a primary driver of the human race. I'm not arguing that. But Jesus Christ, you know, like... It's fucked. It's fucked. It's not fair. It's not a fair system. And not just that, but I mean, I've seen some fucking people, especially with the fact that they're retards to begin with, and it makes me wonder how some of these people are, like, how, you know, fucking Cash Me Outside Girl isn't a good example. I mean, you know, Jesus, what the fuck? People like that are getting recognition, you know? People like that are getting recognition, firstly. That's the first part of it. That kind of fucking shits me. She's getting recognition for being a dumb cunt, which is kind of fucked. And I don't get it. I just don't get it. I mean, you know, I get the sex appeal thing. I get the fact that, you know, there's pervy people out there. I mean, I admit I can be pervy myself, but fuck me. There is just some people I look at and I'm going, Jesus Christ, what in the fucking world is wrong with this population? The population of this fucking planet. What is fucking wrong with them? When they can condone somebody doing stupid shit like that, or somebody fucking super gluing their fucking asshole shut, and then trying to eat Taco Bell and fucking taking laxatives. If they can condone that type of stupidity and that shit, you know, I mean, that's the fucking thing. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. It does shit me. It shits me because I see all different matters, but I see all different segments of the population, and that's my point, you know, like, I really have to question people's, I don't know, just question people's motives anymore. Like, fuck, does anybody, you know, does anybody take consistency of anything? Does anybody fucking feel anything anymore? You know? Or are we all just doomed to fucking repeat the same cycle of fucking behaviour? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? It's kind of how it feels sometimes, if you think about it, but it's just my mindset on this shit. I don't know. That's just shit that I see on a daily basis. It's just funny, you know, as I said, I've wondered sometimes with, you know, whether it's getting views for certain videos. Like, the amount of people that I've seen that do fucking fucked up shit and get more fucking views because they do fucked up shit and not professional shit is fucking amazing. And I'm like, wow, really? Like, what the fuck is wrong with this world that we are so consistently fucked that way? That we, you know, we take the recognition of these really fucking dumbass motherfuckers in the first place. I mean, to me, it's not really arrogance by saying that, because the truth is there is a lot of people, I would say, in the sense of their intelligence level, how they think, how they can, you know, well, how they perceive the world as well, you know. Fucked if I know. Fucked if I know. Some of it just makes me scratch my head in amazement. Fucking, somebody needs a fucking Darwin Award. Well, some people do anyway. Oh, I don't know. We're all drunk from time to time. We all get drunk, we all get a little stoned, we all get a little fucked up. We all make fucked up decisions, we're all entitled to a few mistakes. I can honestly say that I haven't made a massive amount of mistakes in my, like a massive amount of mistakes in my life. But I've made some, I won't deny that. But I've seen some people that they consistently make mistakes. Like, there's no other way to putting it. They're the type of people that you think, how the fuck have you survived this long? Like, there's seriously some people I just look and go, how the fuck have you survived this long? It does surprise me sometimes with the amount of times I've survived, but fuck me, wow, just some people. What the hell? What do I fucking do? Let me just check my temperatures. I'm curious because hardware monitor. Did I even install that actually? Let me have a look. Like I said, I don't know. Sometimes it'd be nice to get a little recognition of the things that I do, just my professionalism in most cases. And I'll be honest, I'm pretty professional most of the time. There has been those rare cases where I haven't always been professional, but it's normally because somebody's pissed me off. But when it comes to my work ethic, I try to remain professional if I can help it. If I can help it. There's always going to be situations where something happens that it's not quite in, that you're not quite in control of. 47. Not too bad. I don't know. I could probably run a bit of a clean on my system, but it's just I haven't had. It's just the house has been totally disorganized in the sense. Okay, firstly, I can't go out to my workshop if I do want to do a clean. Any cleaning has to be done inside the fucking house. So I'm not taking my fucking components outside, and not at the moment anyway. It's fucking rainy day outside at the moment. Yeah, most likely I'm going to have to run a clean on things, so that's not too bad. This temperature's not too bad. 64. Definitely could probably do clean the video cards out and stuff. See, the last time I did give this a clean, it was a very bare minimal clean. Because I didn't really have enough room to take the video cards out and do a bit of a disassembly on it, because that's what I wanted to actually do last time, but I couldn't. It's just so much easier when you can disassemble things. You can put them down. You can put them, whether it's into say for example. RPMs on those fans aren't too bad. Temperatures aren't too bad, but they could be better. I know they could be a lot lower. Same with the graphics card. It's just starting to come down the temperatures now, but those temperatures could be way lower. I definitely know that, because they have been lower in the past. Yeah. I'll probably be a bit more pedantic about it. See, unfortunately, at this point in time, I can't really do much. I mean, I can probably do a few things. I can probably bring the air compressor in, blow my system out a bit, maybe organise the cables a little bit better. It's definitely something that can be done. The problem is, though, I do, and I'm not saying this is always the case, but every time that I'm around PC builders or anybody who's a PC person, everybody seems to think they fucking know something. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had my experience, you've had your experience. Everybody's experience differs. I'm not going to say that my experience is going to work for everybody, whether it's in IT or anything that I've had in my life. I have noticed a few things throughout my life. Not every computer fails the same way. Not every computer fails simply because it was dust or something like that, or something was, you know, a particular way or a particular circumstance. The other side of it too is that, you know, I was, you know, the thing I hate is a know-it-all technician. I don't mind listening to someone's opinion because I understand it to a certain extent. But there's things that I know in my 11 years of experience that have taught me a few things. Some things you don't necessarily have to, you don't necessarily, like, say for example, like, you know, something might be need to switch it around a certain way or do something else. In my experience, some things can be left. Like, they can be left alone, or you can do a certain amount of work on them and they can be just adjusted a bit. The other side of it too is there's a lot more pedantic people out there about things than me. I will do what the job requires. The other side of it too is I've seen computers that, you know, I'm surprised that they actually last as long as they did, you know. Whenever I'm working on a client's computer, I always, you know, I make sure it's nice and neat. I make sure it's fixed up for them properly. Now, when it's my computer, I do my computer my way. Whether it's the software I run on it, or whether it's the things that I do on it, it's my computer, it's my choices, it's my way of doing things. My way or the highway, because it's my computer. If it's a client's computer, I set it up to a specific parameter that I've just had as a standard template for how I set up a client's computer. Whether it's software or hardware or whatever. Saying that, everybody's different, you know, that's my point. Everybody has a different way of doing things, and the truth is there's no one I mean, the truth is, when it comes to IT, there's no right or wrong way of doing it. It's all down to the individual repairer. Every individual repairer has their method, their way of doing something. Some of them have a way specifically, you know, like it might be a certain way they do it, or a certain way they repair it or diagnose a problem. And it's down to the individual repairer whether they choose to repair it that way or not. Now, the other side of it too is, you know, when it comes to people, even on some of these PC forum groups that I come across. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay, firstly, I have qualifications in IT. I've been doing it for 11 years now, so I know what I'm doing. I've concluded, though, with some people, they're going to tell you what to do anyway because they just feel a need to. I'm far from perfect in the computers that, you know... Well, I'm far from perfect, so I guess my rig is a bit of a reflection on that, you know. My own rig, that is, but I mean, if it's a client's rig, it's a totally different case. Saying that, I've seen different people take different approaches. There's, you know, there's a standard way of doing things. There's a certain way. Sometimes you do things in a particular way. Sometimes you won't, you know. And the other side of it too is, you know, I've had situations in my life where, I don't know, as I said, I've learned from past experiences, you know, some things are just better off left alone. Or maybe just adjusted a little. I've also learned that the amount of times I see people clear dust out of the system, like, I tend to dust mine pretty regularly if I can help it. I haven't dusted it for a while now. It's actually pretty dusty inside. I do need to dust it, and I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, at the moment, it's just not on the agenda because I haven't got enough room to be able to do it. And, yeah, for the moment, I'm just going to leave it and I'll probably do it another day. Well, I don't know. I don't know whether I'll do it today, but I'll see how it feels anyway. I don't know. It's just good and bad, I guess. That's the thing about it all. There's consistent ways of doing things, and there's inconsistent ways. I mean, you know, some methods are more efficient than others. Some methods, I don't know. For me, I have a routine, and I have a set method that I have for certain things. That whether it's a repair method or something like that. I don't know. There's routines. There's certain methods that I guess you could say I'm sort of set. I'm set to, or I'm set in, you know, just because of my issues. So. But then there's some people more picky. See, I'm not as picky. Some things I might let go and I might not be as stringent about, whereas other people will be more picky than I was, you know. The other thing too is these people. Okay, the other side of it too is these people themselves may not necessarily be repairers. They might not. You know, it just depends. The other side of it too is they may have a different experience than I have had. You know, for example, if that person has had repair experience themselves, perhaps they've had situations where things have happened, and when those situations have happened, it's been more severe for them. Say, for example, something blowing up or dying or whatever. My components have rarely died on me. Like my components have died like after three or 4 years worth of actually running the computer continuously for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, sort of thing. You know, like that's my point. Like that's the only time that I've ever had a computer really die on me. And it's fucking stupid, but I've only ever had stuff die on me after me using it for a long period of time. Like, I'm talking like 2 or 3 years, or a year, or probably no longer than a year, but normally 2 or 3 years. And then normally, eventually, the component dies. Or it doesn't actually die, it dies, but it dies in a way that it doesn't seem like it's dying. That has happened a couple of times with me with components. I'm like, what the fuck, seriously? But yeah, that has happened. It's just fucking what the fuck, seriously, you know? It's not all bad though. I mean, look, put it this way, it's not always bad, it's not always negative. I've just had those situations where, well, I don't know, in the past I've had situations where I've had situations in the past, in the long run, where something, okay, when it comes to internal components in my computer, the things that have died have been the first things to die. I had a couple of Blu-ray players and Blu-ray DVD burners and stuff, and those died. I ended up replacing them with just a couple of DVD burners. I haven't had any of my hard drives die, luckily. They've been pretty good. My video cards have been good. My RAM, I had to replace, as I said, but it was also, I replaced the RAM and the motherboard because I wanted to eliminate those two components. And those two components, I ended up replacing the RAM, and I got a very new gaming motherboard. And when I got the gaming motherboard, I found that it helped a lot. A cooler has died on me though, admittedly. I've had 2 of the same coolers, and they both had issues with them. I've had issues with both of them dying. What was it? It was fucking well, actually, this one's been pretty good. This one's been working pretty well. I had the first Cooler Master I got, first couple of Cooler Masters I got actually did die. And I don't know, I don't think it was to excessive temperature, I think it was just the fact that the pumps died. And that's pretty much happened, the pumps died and they just didn't work anymore. Basically, I plugged the pump into the socket on the motherboard, and the pump wouldn't even power up. So yeah, that was a big issue. But I know for a fact now at the moment, just looking at my settings and stuff, that the pump's going quite strong because it's still on the highest RPM it could be on for that particular design of pump. Yeah, let me just have a look. Open the cunts and click. Itch. There we go. Yeah, for that pump, that was actually pretty good. For that type of pump, it was pretty good. But no, my video cards have been going strong. So my video cards have been going strong. My CPU's been kicking along pretty well. The only thing I've had to replace in my computer of late, I replaced the RAM and the motherboard, and of course those couple of Blu-ray / DVD burner / Blu-ray sort of burner type things. I replaced 2 of those with 2 DVD burners that I had lying around because I had some second-hand components. And my video cards have been running fine. All my hard drives, except for the only hard drive I've ended up replacing, and it pretty much told me the read count was over it, was my SSD. So I haven't had to replace a massive amount in my computer of late. And that motherboard that I had previously and that RAM lasted me about 3 or 4 years. So yeah, that was actually pretty good. But yeah, replacing those 2 components was pretty piss easy. I'd say, yeah. The other thing too is I've always bought brand names. My RAM is Kingston HyperX, the new stuff that I bought. The previous RAM that I had was Corsair Vengeance. The motherboard I had previously was an Asus Sabertooth, which was a great board, by the way, for the AMD processor. Yeah, definitely. The water cooling I've always purchased was... let's see. Always the water cooling that I went for, and in most cases always worked well for me, was Cooler Master. I have not had a real issue of them failing on me. My ones did fail originally, but I think that was to do with a fan. It might have been to do with a fan connector issue, because there's this fan connector thing that you could get. You could plug it in, and I don't think it was giving sufficient power to the fans that were in the system anyway. So that might have had something to do with it. So that's the reason I don't use that fan connector anymore. I just connect everything directly into the power. What else? My cards. I mean, I ended up passing on my old Gigabyte 670 to my nephew, and he's still got the damn card. It's still working. So, you know, it's a pretty solid component. The fans that I've been using are Corsair. The rest of the fans I have are a combination of Corsair and Cooler Master fans. What else is there? My CPU, as I said, I've never had any problems with that. My monitors, which were both Samsung at one point, they were both Samsung. I ended up selling my 4K one, but that's alright. I mean, after I sold it anyway, it was fine. Fucking cunt of a thing. Fuck off, cunt. Bitch. What the fuck is... No, like, I'm seriously pissed off with this fucking thing. Every fucking time it fucks up. Like, what the fuck? That is fucking annoying. Every fucking time the fucking thing dies in the chat. I'm seriously gonna have to find... Okay, I'm gonna have to... There's another plugin that's not a beta. This is a beta version of the plugin. Like, fucking piece of cunt. Fucking keeps dying. It's pissing me off. I might actually see if I can... Oh, that's alright. I'll do it later, but... Fucking cunt. Jesus fucking Christ. There we go. But no, both of my screens were Samsung. I had a what did I have? I had two TV monitors which were Samsung. They were TV/monitor, and I've still got one. The other one died, but my dad used it for about 3 or 4 or 5 years after after I replaced, because what happened was I replaced this other one was, well, anyway, I ended up passing it on to my dad. My dad used it for years, and then all of a sudden the screen went blank and it wouldn't work anymore, which was kind of annoying, but you know, that's going to happen from time to time. So I just went, fuck it, you know, that's fine, no problem. I didn't get the shits with it too much. I mean, it was probably the end of its life expectancy anyway. But I've now got a Samsung monitor beside me here. I've had a few South Korean monitors, and I've ended up passing on a couple to friends. And I think only the last, which would have been fairly old by now, that South Korean monitor did eventually die. I had another South Korean monitor which I ended up selling on, but it lasted for years because I had it for years. Then I had this one, this is the South Korean monitor in front of me now, which has lasted me fucking fair amount of time actually. It's been doing pretty well so far. Yeah, it's been actually quite good. It's fucking amazing actually. It's been running quite well. Yeah, no, I haven't even... and actually, the good thing is I've been able to overclock this South Korean one that I've got in front of me now. So that's plus it's running on 72 Hz at the moment. The one beside me, the TV one, is running at 60 Hz. So yeah, but this one's running at 72 Hz, and I haven't had any problems with it running at 72 Hz. Ooh, sorry. So that's good. But yeah, no, like, even my web camera is a 920, Logitech 920 webcam, W920 or something like that. What was it? Look at me sideways. It is a C920. It's a good webcam, runs quite well, does 1080p. I've had that for years too. I've had that for a fair few years. It's pretty much this. I haven't changed webcams for a long time, so this has pretty much been the most consistent webcam I've had, and I haven't had to change it out. This microphone I've had, the Razer one, ended up costing me about $200 roughly. I mean, about 170 or something. I got it cheap, and I've had this for about a year, 2, maybe. No, probably about almost a year or 2 now. Yeah, almost a year or 2 now. I ended up getting a new keyboard, which that's just recently replaced. But that's about the only thing I've really replaced in that sense. My mouse I've had for a fucking my G502 I've had for a fair while. I haven't had to upgrade it, or haven't needed to. Runs pretty well with most of my games. Haven't had any real issues with it so far. It's not sort of sticking itself fucking killing me at all. So fucking Windows 10 issues. Sorry, I'm having a couple of inconsistency issues with fucking Windows 10 at the moment. But yeah, pretty much, yeah. Most of the components I have lasted me a fair amount of time. And I have not had any major issues with them dying or fucking up, or, you know, things fucking completely fucking, you know, falling apart. So that's a plus side. Yeah, so yeah, it's been good. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna have to reboot because this is fucking... I was playing that game earlier, and I don't know, as I said, it's okay. I'll show you what I actually mean. So yeah, the problem I'm actually having, as you can see, half the fucking start menu shit has vanished. It's weird because, as you can see, some of the icons are vanishing, they're not here. This is generally a Windows glitch that I get from time to time. fucking annoying as hell when it happens. And mind you, I was playing a game before. I don't know whether that was a you know, a problem affecting it or not. But yeah, it's sort of kind of fucking annoying. But I've got, if I reboot the machine, this goes away and it becomes good again, and this issue goes away. But this is a consistent issue in Windows 10 that seems to be fucking cropping up so often. It's not funny. Like just, you know, icons going funny and all this shit, and you know, even the fucking this shit. Everything else on the screen looks fine. It's like, what the fuck? All right, I'll be right back.